For years, we've been told that there's a magic number for retirement, and for some, it's around $2 million. But what if hitting that number doesn't unlock the freedom that you had imagined? What if hitting that number creates a new set of problems that nobody warned you about, like higher taxes, tighter spending, and the constant fear of doing it wrong? I see it every week. People who won the retirement savings game, but they still feel broke. So in this video, I'm going to show you why that $2 million savings target might just be giving you false confidence. I'm Scott Sierens, a certified financial planner. I help people who have saved really well for retirement, even saved $2 million or more, but aren't sure how to use it without fear, guilt, or second guessing themselves. So today we're going to cover what makes large savings amounts like $2 million feel so limiting. We'll discuss the hidden costs that come with it, and then ways to create a plan that helps give you the green light to stop saving and instead start living and the permission to spend. Here's what I see a lot. Someone who saves and saves, maybe even hits that $2 million number, but they still don't feel ready to retire. They don't even know if it's enough. They don't have a plan to use it, so guess what? They just keep saving. But here's the catch. That number of yours, maybe it's $2 million. I find that often it's just a guess. Something you heard online, some general rule of thumb, or someone mentioned it in a meeting. But no one actually explained why it's your target or how much you actually need. So guess what? You just keep chasing this other target. And sometimes you go way past it. Not because you're greedy, but because you never had a clear plan of when to stop. And in our experience, working with a lot of people just like you, a lot of people end up oversaving. And it's not because they planned poorly, it's because they never had a plan at all. And it's because of three beliefs that really keep people stuck, even when they've already saved enough. And these beliefs don't just keep you stuck, they can potentially lead to some real financial consequences. So the first belief, just a little bit more and I'll feel safer. But here's the thing, that finish line just keeps moving. $1.5 million turns into $2 million, $2 million turns into $2.5 million, and I find that the fear never goes away. The danger here, well, the longer you delay retirement, the more your accounts grow, which all that sounds great. However, it can also work against you because the more you have in those pre-tax accounts like your 401k or IRA, the more you're going to be forced to withdraw later in life. Those are called your required minimum distributions. And if you're not spending the money, those required distributions, well, they can really stack up fast. So in your future, that could mean higher income taxes. It could also mean higher Medicare premiums because of IRMA. Now, next is the belief that you should never touch your savings, or what I hear is that you should never touch your principal. I hear this one quite a bit. People often tell me that they'd like to maintain their principal and just live off the interest and the gains. Here's the thing I want you to think about. In reality, your money has a purpose, one of two purposes. You can either use it for yourself, or you can give it away to somebody else, like a charity or your family, either now or when you pass away. So if the purpose was for you to use it and you don't use it for that purpose, well then what was the point of saving it in the first place? This mindset likes to create what I like to call phantom poverty. You feel broke even though your accounts really say otherwise. Now, the third belief, I'm a saver, I'm not a spender. I'm a saver, I'm not supposed to spend. You spent decades building good habits like this, cutting back, putting money away, and avoiding waste. And then now that retirement is here, you're told to flip the switch and start spending money. But it's just not that easy. In fact, savers just don't wake up and feel like they're gonna be spenders all of a sudden. They just keep saving, even when they don't need to, because that's what feels safe to them. And this can create a tension. Your money says one thing, but your mindset says another. You live like you're broke when you're really not. You turn down experiences, delay retirement, second guess your decisions, all because you never learned how to spend with confidence. And that's because nobody has ever helped given you that permission to spend. Working with individuals and families just like you that have saved $1 million, $3 million, $5 million, even more, I find that this belief is the toughest one to break. So how do you move past these beliefs and into retirement that you can actually enjoy? Well, it starts by building a plan, one that gives you clarity, confidence, and one that gives you the permission to use what you've worked so hard to save. And I like to call that your license to spend. You see, the real problem isn't the size of your account, it's actually the lack of clarity around what that money is for. So that's the shift you need to make. Stop saving by default and start spending with intention. Sounds easy, but it's not, especially for savers like you. To help get there, it all starts by answering one simple question. What's your money actually for? You see, when you start to really clearly define the answer to that question, your target stops being some imaginary number like $2 million. Your target stops moving and growing. And instead, it becomes a real lifestyle goal. And it starts with a plan, one that helps turn your savings into a clear, flexible income that you can actually use. One that helps you feel confident even if the market drops or tax rates go up or something else unexpected happens. So step one to get you away from this constantly moving target is to know what your money's for. You see, I find that most savers live below their means, but they don't actually know what their means are. And that's the first step. We want to stop guessing and start understanding what it is that you need to live comfortably and what it is that you want or need for a really great year. We have to think about all of your essentials: housing, healthcare, food, insurance. You see, and then since you're a saver, it's important that you go even deeper than that. What's going to stress you out if it's not planned for? Is it that new roof in 5 years? Is it a new car every 10 years from now? Maybe some home updates or rising healthcare costs in the future? That's why it's really important that you list it all. If it's not in your plan, it'll keep you nervous, and your target is just going to continue to move and change. But once it is in your plan, it becomes part of your strategy, and that's how the anxiety fades. The goal is to build a plan that answers all of those what-if questions before they ever become a problem. Okay, so step 2 then is to build in your retirement bonus checks. Next, you want to ask yourself, what are all those things that I want to do while I'm young and healthy? We like to call those retirement bonus checks. Things like $20,000 a year for travel until age 80, a winter getaway for the next 10 years, a second home. You see, these things aren't extras. They're a big part of enjoying retirement while retirement matters the most. And when they're built into your plan, you don't need to feel guilty or nervous about doing them. Step 3, create a retirement income plan. Once you know what you want, now we want to look at how do you pay for it. That means turning your savings into an income stream, one that's going to adjust as life changes. So look at all of your sources: Social Security, pensions, investment accounts, and then you want to build a plan that's going to balance income, taxes, as well as long-term security. When working with clients, another thing that we like to factor in is inflation, longevity, and healthcare, as well as taxes. So not just really focusing on how much you need now, but we want to make sure that you're going to be able to stay comfortable for the next 10, 20, or even 30 years. Step 4, you want to add strategies to help you prepare for the unexpected. Because one of the things when you retire that you're going to be thinking about is, what if the market crashes? And that's smart because we want you to have a plan for that too. So a few things to help you plan for the unexpected. First, instead of using outdated rules like the 4% rule, consider a flexible system like we use for clients called guardrails. You see, what it does is it adjusts with the market, letting you spend more when things are good but also gently pulling back if needed when things might not be so good. Another thing that we do in working with retirees is we like to carve out 4 to 6 years of retirement income outside of the market. You see, this is kind of like your safety bucket. So when the market dips, you don't have to sell low or panic. You've already got the money set aside. And this isn't just about having cash on hand. It's about how it makes you feel. You see, because instead of then focusing on the fact that the market is down, you start thinking in terms of time. How many years of retirement paychecks have you carved off? And this helps give you breathing room, which then helps you get back to what matters the most, enjoying what you've worked so hard to build. Because here's the thing, when you stop guessing and start planning, I found that you really start to then take back control. Instead of reacting to market or tax law changes, now you've created strategies to help you account for all of those items. You've built a plan around your real life and not someone else's rule of thumb or general target. You go from asking, can I afford this, to knowing, hey, I planned for this. You go from holding back to showing up. And you go from watching your account continue to grow and wondering if you're ever going to hit that target, which continues to change, to instead watching your life and retirement grow. So if you've saved well, but still feel stuck, it's not your fault. I invite you to watch another video we've put together. In the video, we're gonna walk through ways to stop guessing on how much you need to save and instead implement a system that helps give you clarity and the permission to spend what you've worked so hard to save. To do so, click the link in the description. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.